Seattle Atheist Church, because good works in non-mysterious ways.
Visual aid. I'm talking about joy today. Um, so, uh, this church was founded on the principles of scientific naturalism and secular ethics. But when we were pondering how to best write up our mission, vision, and values as a church, we found we needed a third principle besides rationality and compassion, and that is joy. I thank Mark for figuring out that we needed that joy piece to round out the set. So why does joy matter? Why do we need it? What are we including in that concept? And why is it important, not just to a happy life, but to a productive, ethical, and rational one? And I'm also going to talk about some of the ways we can foster joy in our own lives and those of others, and use the power of joy to nurture our values and goals. Obviously, joy is nice. Happiness feels good, of course, but it doesn't end there. Joy isn't just some kind of a little frill that you put on your sandwich or a luxury good. It is actually a critical element at the core of a healthy and productive life. When I talk about joy today, I'm talking about a whole cluster of positive experiences that includes happiness, wonder, optimism, and flow. It includes all of the character strengths that are grouped under the virtue of transcendence: awe, gratitude, hope, humor, and what's sometimes called spirituality. I think it's more apt to call it purpose in this group. It includes peak experiences, and it includes everyday pleasures. So it's the whole range that I'm talking about here. We need these experiences and the attitudes and choices that help us find and appreciate them for a variety of reasons. Number one, for its own sake. We need pleasure, we need awe and wonder in our lives. I'm going to quote Kurt Vonnegut here. I tell you, we are here on earth to fart around, and don't let anybody tell you different. You have the right to pleasure. It's fine to just want to have fun and enjoy yourself. Other primates spend most of their time eating, mating, grooming, and otherwise socializing. Human hunter-gatherers spent and spend about 20 hours a week, less than 3 hours a day, gathering and preparing food and maintaining their tools, their shelter, and other belongings. The rest of the time, besides childcare, which is almost always combined with other activities, the rest of the time is for eating, socializing, making art. Painting, carving, singing, storytelling, having fun, right? Doing stuff because it's nice. This nation and a lot of nations' substrate of like Puritan moralism sometimes poisons us against simple enjoyment, makes us suspicious of it or feel guilty about it. But you're not a Puritan. You're here. And Puritans should not limit your enjoyment of life. So that's point one. Joy for its own sake. Just have it. Joy's nice. Number two, and the biggest point I want to make here, is joy is a resource for renewed energy for all the things you need and want to do. Lots of things we want or need to do are not themselves intrinsically enjoyable. And we need to have some kind of energy source that we can draw on to get ourselves to do them. Joy increases our motivation. The flow state is a joy state. We are more effective if we experience joy in our lives. We are not machines. We run on a squishy substrate of biological materials controlled by chemical signals, all of it fundamentally tangled up with emotional experiences. We are emotional beings, not just programmatic series of instructions. So thinking we are above or separate from our emotional state doesn't free us from that truth. It just makes us blind to the effects of the emotions on our thoughts and actions. Our decision-making is embodied. People whose ability to feel emotions has been destroyed by brain damage are not, in fact, beings of perfect reason. They constantly make terrible choices because they fail to make choices at all, thus making a choice, because they're incapable of using our innate systems of judging what's a good idea using our emotional responses to our options. So we can't get away from our emotions, so we should strive to use them helpfully. Without joy, we find it really hard to keep getting up and working. Without loving touch and hope and possibility, we can even die, especially as infants. A little beauty, kindness, pleasure, pride, or hope can make the difference and help us keep going, help us stay living, stay functional, and do wonders in the world. Full measures of all those things help make a really rich life. I think I've brought up Rat Park a lot of times here in church, but if you're not familiar with it, I really encourage you to look up Rat Park after church. Go read about it. You can get all the details. But basic summary, there was a psychologist in the late 70s named Bruce Alexander, and he was studying morphine addiction using a rat model, which is a really common thing to do at the time. Researchers had found that rats would choose morphine-laced water over plain water. They would also choose morphine-laced water over food, even if they were starving. They became completely compulsive over the drug. Well, Alexander wondered whether the way the rats were living might be skewing the results. Because at the time, all of these studies were done on lab rats in individual, plain, small cages. And rats are a social animal. They don't normally live in a tiny cage. They live over a large expanse they range over with a bunch of their friends and family. So he created a large shared space full of toys and hiding places for rats to socialize in, explore, and play in. He called it Rat Park. And he found that, in fact, rats, given this kind of rich, interesting, spacious environment, were not interested in morphine. They would drink the plain water rather than the drug-laced water. They could taste the difference. Or they would run off and groom a friend rather than drink the drug. They were not interested. They had better things to do. And this has profound implications for human models of addiction that really haven't been reflected in our social programs and our medical thinking. Individuals with sources of joy in their lives do not tend to seek out emotion-deadening addictive drugs. They have better things to do. They have better feelings to have than just shutting stuff off for a while. So, also more recent rat research, researchers have found that if you show rats how to drive little cars that are made just rat size with rat usable controls, they will do it. They will not just do it for a reward. They will do it because it's fun. They do not need an extrinsic reward to do this thing because they love it. It's enrichment outside their usual enclosure. And we can get that for ourselves as well. We can do things that are fun just because they're fun, and it's actually good for us. It helps us resist unhealthy temptations. It helps us interact with others. It helps us be successful in the things we're trying to do. Go ahead and have some joy. It's good for you. Joy boosts our immune systems. It helps us handle pain and stress. And it increases our lifespans. People who have joy in their lives live longer. I want to get into flow a bit. Flow is that state where you're really in the groove doing a task or having some kind of an experience. You feel like you really got it down. Maybe you're practicing a sport or doing art or whatever it is you're doing, you've got it locked in, you're doing it just beautifully. And you become unaware of anything else. You are just the task, and it's glorious. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, I think I got that right, something close anyway, wrote a book called Flow, about how flow works, what this like joyful meditative state does for us. I recommend it. There are other books on flow as well now. But despite this state being amazing and resulting in absolute peak performance in a lot of cases, sometimes we think that we're just supposed to focus on the work and the joy is somehow superfluous or even shameful. don't do that. Don't do that. Don't deprive yourself of feeling the joy of doing something really well. It actually helps you do it better. It's not separate. It's not in conflict. Just go ahead and experience that joy when you hit it. It really is a blessing. If we reject that, we'll actually do the work less well than if we embrace that joyful flow feeling. Joy is also positive reinforcement. When we like something, when we get a little hit of dopamine, hit of endorphins, that is good for us to get us to keep doing that thing. So if you're doing a thing that you want to be doing, make sure you get a reward for it. I don't necessarily mean, eat some chocolate every time you wash the dishes or whatever, although, that might work depending. But at least notice that you did a thing. Congratulate yourself. Doing that little, yay, I did the thing dance. It might feel silly, but also it actually tells your brain, yeah, this is a good thing. Do that again next time. That felt good. When we gamify habits, that helps us build and maintain them. And we get the little, oh, your score went up, yay thing. It really does work for us. Those little hits of reward help us notice and celebrate reaching little goals. And that helps us move on and do the next task and the next task and build on what we've been doing. We also want to do that for each other. Thank each other, congratulate each other for our successes. Big, little, doesn't matter. That encourages us, gives us courage. It inspires us, it strengthens our spirits, and it allows us to do more. Some people tend to be stingy with their thanks. They're like, people shouldn't be thanked for doing the everyday duty. That's just their job. Why not? This is that Puritan moralism thing again. Don't get stuck in it. It feels good and it motivates people. It creates a human connection and it encourages people to do more and better. It does not mean in people of good faith that they will then stop because they've already satisfied you. It means they'll want to make you happier again. Now, if you're a huge grouch and you're always mean to them, maybe they don't care about that. But I'm presuming that people here are not huge grouches. They're actually trying to maintain good human connections and help people do better. So thank people. Thank people for doing things you expected them to do. Thank people for doing things a little bit, even if they didn't do it quite as well as you would have liked. Go, thanks, you lessened what I had to do. You did this piece. I appreciate that. So again, the Puritan mentality of punishment and privation does not serve us. With praise for their efforts, even if the results are not huge or perfect, people feel good, they feel connected, they feel appreciated, and they strive to do more and better. Thank yourself. Congratulate yourself too. Treat yourself like you treat others like you treat yourself. Whichever you have more trouble with, go ahead and phrase it that way. The third piece of joy, besides it's great for its own sake and it motivates us and helps us with practical things, is joy is a kind of goal or treasure to be preserved and protected where we find it. It is a reminder of the essence of being human. Art and love and shared experiences together, celebration, these are things we can fight for and things we can make peace for. However great our personal challenges or our global challenges, we don't actually live in some gray dystopia where everything not forbidden is compulsory and there is no fun allowed. We don't have to abjure joy, and we should not. The complete absence of joy is depression, and that helps no one. It's not virtuous, it's not admirable, it's not fun. It just sucks. It sucks away joy. It keeps people from being functional and happy. Don't get trapped into it by thoughts of joy somehow being extra or you personally not deserving it. Everybody deserves joy. Everybody deserves comfort and peace and safety and feelings of flow because they're doing something worthwhile, even if they're not the best at it, even if they're not feeling great themselves. Whoever you are, you deserve to have some joy in your life. It's not better to work without reward. That is not a helpful thought. All thoughts like that are counterproductive. They are counter to our productivity. We all deserve to do things we like and to be allowed to fully enjoy them. The luckiest of us get to get paid for that. But even if you don't, you can find things that you like in your work or outside of it and enjoy them to the fullest. You want to make space for joy in your life. Devote time and space and attention to the things that make you happy, the people you love to spend time with, the activities that put you in a flow state. You can go for walks, sing in the shower, even if you're off key. I don't care. You're having fun. Kiss your sweetie, hug your kids, and protect the rights of others to their joys. Don't yuck other people's yums by being contemptuous of their hobbies or their musical tastes. It's not hurting you. You can let it go by, or you can go, wow, that's interesting that you like that. What do you like about it? You don't have to like it. Just don't be a buzzkill. You can support arts programs and youth activities and book clubs and restaurants and parks. And remember another principle of Kurt Vonnegut's. When you notice yourself having a good time, remember to look around and say to yourself, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. Thank you.